Welcome back to In Your Neighborhood. I'm your host, Charla Brown, and if you're just tuning in, we've been talking with Grace Place. My guest today is Melody Maximchuk, and she's the pastor and the executive director over at Grace Place, along with her husband. And they're doing all kinds of great work over there. And I'm just wondering if you have help, because we're talking about all the programs and everything that you have going on there, and just the number of people that you serve. So how many employees and volunteers do you have over there?
Well, we have one employee.
Wow.
And we have upwards to 160 volunteers. They don't all come at once, but that we have, because I was counting it last night thinking, we've got just a little more than 160 volunteers.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got 9 church groups that help on Mondays, and they've got groups of 12 to 15 every time they come.
Right.
And then Tuesdays and Wednesdays, the volunteers come from the community, from all sorts of life. And so, yeah, it adds up. The people are there.
Yeah, but you'd need that many people.
Oh, we do.
And just the fact that, you know, I'm sure people are coming on certain days, but then there's some people who can only come, you know, once in a while and stuff like that. So it's nice to have that base. Are you always looking for volunteers and people to help out?
Yes, we are. We are. I just want to mention that we do have some key volunteers that if they weren't there, Grace Place would not run, because we have a very dedicated cook, Dave, and he has a lot of helpers helping him. And we have key people to be there, the leaders, kind of guiding all the other ones, the new volunteers, and so on and so forth. And Heather Poulter, she's there on Mondays supervising the church groups. And so many, you know, key leaders that if they weren't there, I wouldn't be able to do half the pastoring job that I'm doing right now.
Right. Yeah, wonderful to give them a shout out for sure. And the fact that I'm sure a lot of their hours would add up to a part-time job, really, that they're giving back to the community and helping people that really need it in our city.
Definitely.
So do you work with other organizations here in the city?
Yes, we do. We try to access other services and work together, as you know, in the community with other organizations that are doing the much needed work. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. Right. You know. So yes, we work very closely with the Shelter House. They have the SOS program, and it's such a great program. Before they came, we had to do a lot of the stuff that they're doing. We had to get the person to detox. We'd have to get the person to the hospital. We would have to get the person to the much needed program. But we just give SOS a call, and they're on their way. And it has also taken a lot of pressure off of EMS and police, because usually the SOS will take care of the situation before we have to phone the police, because we have somebody who was really intoxicated but still fine. They need a ride to the Shelter House. Right. So we all work together in that respect. We also will store things for the SOS, blankets, pillows, and so they use our resources. As well, we work with the GAPS program. The GAPS program, Dave Taylor and the team down there at the Norwest Center, they come and they meet with their clients very often at Grace Place, because it's a non-threatening environment. They can come and meet with their clients and visit with them and get their jobs done.
And tell me a little what that program is, because I'm not familiar with that program.
Oh, well, the GAPS program is all about placing people into the right, you know, program that they need, whether it's housing, mental health issues, all sorts of different social issues that are going on in people's lives. The GAPS program, you give Dave Taylor a call, and he comes on over many of the workers, and they'll assess, you know, give an assessment with the person and meet with them. And excellent.
That's wonderful.
Excellent. Yes. As well, we work with the John Howard Society. We do have a lot of people that come from incarceration to get their volunteer hours that are court mandated. And so that happens a lot. And very happy about that, because that makes up a lot of our volunteers. And so a very good program. We've been doing that with them for over 5 years.
Nice.
Yeah, and March of Dimes, they've come and they've had their work initiative program, and they're hoping to get that going again for this year. And it only benefits us, because we get a lot of volunteers, it benefits them too because they get to work again in the community. Maybe they have a disability when they come from March of Dimes, and they're able to work with the public
Right.
in a safe environment.
And get that experience and, just helping people and working with other people and
Yeah,
absolutely.
gaining the confidence.
That's right.
In most cases.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, that's great. And it's great to know that, there's so many essential organizations and, how you work together for the greater good of our city. It's really important about that. Like you said, one organization can't possibly do it all.
No.
So it's
Yeah.
nice when you can kind of work together and you each know what your kind of role is and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
the street nurses, like I mentioned, and the paramedics as well. They're there.
Right. So tell me let's talk a little bit about the need for your services here in the community. So in terms of is there things that you find that there's more need for or what's needed? I'm just wondering in terms of for the community to kind of get involved and be able to help with things. Is it in terms of, is it, food? Is it programs? Is it?
Well, there is a definite need for food hampers. I don't know what the real need is, but I know that there's a lot of needs going on at the same time.
Yes.
And throughout the day, you could meet, just a merit of needs. It ranges. It ranges.
Right.
And it is, yeah. There are a lot of needs coming in the door. We try to fill them with I guess, what we have accessible to us.
Right.
If we get something that's donated, someone comes in and they have that need, well, it's theirs.
And so what kind of things would you be looking for from the public? Like we talked about volunteers, if people could volunteer their time, but do you take donations? So if people had, non-perishable items, or if they had household goods, or because I understand you have apartments as well and things like that, like what kind of things are you looking for?
Yeah, well, we'll take used women's and men's and children's clothing.
Right.
And also household items, anything that people can carry away. We find it difficult for them to take anything bigger. They can't go on the bus with it.
Right.
So it's a little bit difficult for that. But yes, any of those items can be donated, food, even food for our kitchen.
Right.
If you want to donate bologna or butter or mayonnaise, it could go on and on, cheese.
Right.
We have so many needs in that area because we do feed over 200 people a day.
Right.
That we
And they would just drop them off to your location on Simpson Street. What are your
Yes.
hours, just so people know in terms of if they did want to, drop things off, or if they have things that's at home that they'd like to donate, when would be the time to do that?
Okay. Well, you can donate Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. We are open to the public from 1 to 4, but if you want to make a donation, we are there from 9 o'clock on.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want to come earlier, you can.
Good stuff. Well, we're going to take another quick break. We're going to be right back with Melody and talk more about Grace Place.